What happens when a door unexpectedly opens in the NFL? When destiny doesn't knock but kicks it wide open? That's exactly what's happening right now in Berea, Ohio, at the Cleveland Browns training camp. Just days into a heated and chaotic camp, a surprising twist has sent shockwaves through the quarterback room, shifting attention from veterans to two rookies with something to prove, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. This isn't just another day in late July. This might be the start of a brand new quarterback era. Every year, training camp begins with the same growing pains: missed throws, sloppy snaps, dropped passes, and defenders running wild. It's all part of the recipe for building something that eventually resembles a well-oiled NFL machine. But even within the usual chaos, there are key moments that can redefine careers. And for Cleveland, one of those moments just arrived. Head coach Kevin Stefanski, now a seasoned figure within the Browns ecosystem, was taking stock after the first few practices. With just 4 days behind them, the team's attention began narrowing in on the most important position on the field, quarterback. The depth chart seemed firmly in place. Joe Flacco was firmly planted at the top, a veteran leader with experience. Behind him, Kenny Pickett held the backup reins. Rookies Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel were waiting, grinding, preparing for a shot that didn't seem close until everything changed. Saturday's practice brought a sudden and unexpected twist. Kenny Pickett suffered a hamstring injury, and just like that, the quarterback competition shifted into new territory. The injury wasn't catastrophic, but it was serious enough to sideline Pickett for several days. And in the NFL, a few days is all it takes for someone to rise or fall. Now the practice reps that once seemed like distant dreams for Sanders and Gabriel were suddenly up for grabs. As full pads came out and contact began, the rookie duo found themselves thrust into the spotlight, no longer just observers of a veteran-led system, but participants in its evolution. According to insider Brad Stainbrook, the expectation within Browns camp is clear. Both Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel are now in line to get meaningful reps during this vital stretch. He added that fans and analysts should expect the intensity to rise, and that the next practices will carry far more weight than before. These aren't just warm-up drills anymore. These reps could define depth charts, future starts, and entire careers. Still, Stefanski remains cautious, as any smart coach would. On day one of camp, he warned reporters not to read too deeply into who gets the first reps, reminding everyone that lineups are fluid and subject to change daily. "It will change tomorrow," he said. And with that, he echoed the unpredictable nature of NFL training camp. The only constant is change. For Shedeur Sanders, this is more than just a lucky break. It's the very challenge he knew was coming when he entered the league. Nothing is given to a rookie quarterback, especially not one competing behind veteran arms. But Sanders, whose college career was marked by poise, precision, and leadership, isn't looking for handouts. He's looking for opportunities, and now he has one. Dillon Gabriel, too, brings a resume filled with college achievements and the kind of grit that thrives in moments like this. As the Browns continue navigating their early camp schedule, all eyes are on these two rookies. Can they rise to the moment? Will one of them outperform expectations and force Stefanski and the coaching staff to rethink their plans? That remains to be seen. But what is certain is that these next few days will shape more than just the quarterback pecking order. They will shape the narrative of this Browns season. From a quiet start to a sudden surge of opportunity, the story in Cleveland has taken a dramatic turn. One veteran's setback has opened the door for a new generation to walk through, and now it's up to Sanders and Gabriel to decide just how far they'll go. So stay tuned, because what happens next in Berea might just define the Browns' future. Will Shedeur Sanders make his mark? Will Dillon Gabriel rise to the challenge? Or will the veterans reclaim their ground when the dust settles? Don't blink, because in the NFL, moments like this come fast, and they never come twice. What if a single injury changed the entire course of a quarterback battle? What if the door cracked open, and a rookie with everything to prove finally got his shot? In the heart of Berea, Ohio, something unexpected is brewing at Cleveland Browns camp. A sudden shakeup, a golden opportunity, and a coach on the brink of a game-changing decision. This is not just another training camp story. This is the moment everything could shift for Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns kicked off their camp with all the usual struggles that mark the beginning of a new NFL journey. Snaps were sloppy, throws lacked rhythm, passes were dropped, and defenders crashed through the lines untouched. It was chaotic, messy, but also expected. That's what late July football is all about, laying the groundwork and molding a roster through sweat and setbacks. But when Sunday arrived, it brought the first true pause. Kevin Stefanski and his staff finally had a chance to stop and analyze what had unfolded in the opening 4 days. And all eyes? They were zoomed in on the quarterback room. According to ESPN Cleveland's Tony Grossi, the quarterback depth chart had a clear shape. Joe Flacco stood firmly at the top. Kenny Pickett was his backup, and rookies Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders were positioned at the bottom, patiently waiting. There was no drama, no surprises, just solid competition and structure. That was until Saturday. In a twist no one saw coming, Kenny Pickett tweaked his hamstring during a session. And just like that, the dynamic in the quarterback room shifted. With Pickett expected to miss several days of action, the rookies weren't just observing anymore, they were next up. Pads were back on today in Berea. And with Pickett sidelined, Brad Stainbrook confirmed what everyone suspected. Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel were finally going to see meaningful reps. The stakes just went sky high. The competition wasn't just a formality anymore. The door was wide open, and the intensity, it was about to reach another level. Kevin Stefanski had already warned the media not to read too much into who was getting first-team reps too early in the process. It will change tomorrow, he said. But for Shedeur, it wasn't just about reps, it was about making them count. From day one of camp, the pecking order was brutally clear. Pickett took all the first-team snaps while Shedeur was buried in the third-team rotations. Day two didn't help his case either. Flacco and Pickett continued to dominate the top snaps, with Sanders still stuck rotating between the second and third teams. Even when Dillon Gabriel started getting first-team looks on day 3 and day 4, Shedeur stayed on the outside. It wasn't a surprise. He was the rookie with the most to prove. But now, the script has flipped. With Pickett out, Sanders is finally set to receive reps that matter. Not filler snaps, not sideline drills, real high-pressure opportunities. And for a young quarterback trying to crack into the league, that can be everything. An opening like this might only come once. And it's no exaggeration to say that if Shedeur performs, everything could change in an instant. Of course, this also accelerates the Browns' timeline. The quarterback room is heating up, and Kevin Stefanski is nearing his decision for QB1 faster than many anticipated. According to reports from The Athletic, the ideal timeline for naming a starting quarterback would be around the second week of August. That's when the Browns are scheduled for joint practices with the Philadelphia Eagles on August 13th and 14th. Those joint practices will be followed by a preseason showdown with the Los Angeles Rams on August 23rd. That game could very well be the final test before Stefanski makes the call. For now, the safe bet still lies with Joe Flacco. He's received the most first-team reps and carries the veteran experience that Stefanski may lean on. But with Pickett temporarily out of the picture, the spotlight has shifted. The rookies, Gabriel and Sanders, will now be seen more in action. And while neither is likely to start in Week 1 barring a surprise, their performances in these next practices could shape not only the final depth chart, but their futures in the NFL. One thing is certain, the quarterback decision isn't months away. It could be weeks, it could even be days. And in a battle that once seemed locked in place, Shedeur Sanders has been given a sliver of daylight. Now it's up to him to push through. Opportunity rarely knocks twice in the NFL, and right now, all eyes are on the rookie who finally has a chance to prove he belongs.